Hey guys, Editing Lauren here. This light is awful, I'm so sorry. The vlog that you are about to watch is really old. I will put how long. I know it's been a while since my first video. Turns out, moving to the other side of the world, starting a new job in the midst of a global pandemic takes a lot of energy and time. And so despite the fact that I've been reading, I just haven't been up to editing or filming for that matter. So I still wanted to show you guys this vlog. I hope you guys enjoy. Hopefully I'll be able to get a couple more videos in this month, and then of course I will be vlogging for Believe-a-thon 3 in November. So enjoy this very belated vlog. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my first official reading vlog. For those of you who are new here, which I think is pretty much anyone who watches this video, I am Lauren and this is the Forgotten Storytellers. So I was gonna start this vlog yesterday because I read the last like 50 or 60 pages of An Echo of Things to Come by James Islington. It's the second book in a trilogy, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite epic fantasy books series. I'm a little nervous for the conclusion because there are a couple tropes that, like, the way that they're playing out right now is good. Like, it's really interesting. It creates this suspense and it's great. But it could go in a direction that I hate. It's not bad, but I hate it when like people do the wrong things for the right reasons, or they do what they think is necessary even though they know that it's wrong. And I hate that. Like, I hate when good characters become bad characters for not good reasons. Like, they don't change their mind about what is good or bad, but they convince themselves that like being bad is necessary. And I don't know, I just hate that, but we'll see what happens. So An Echo of Things to Come, I gave on Cowpile, I gave it an 8.86, which is a very, very high 4-star. The reason that it didn't get a 5-star is because I kept not wanting to pick it up. Like, once I was reading, I could read for hours, but there was nothing compelling me to pick it up. And I don't know if it was because it's just so big, it's over 700 pages, or if it was because I just wasn't really in the mood. And it is a little bit slower pace because there's a lot of like world building and there is action, but there's a lot of like traveling and development, like character development and plot setup, which is really good. And when you're reading it, it doesn't feel like it's going really slow, but there's nothing that was really compelling me to pick it up. You know what I mean? So just barely not a 5-star, but it was really good. I would highly recommend, if you like epic fantasy, I would highly, highly, highly recommend picking up this series. It's so good. The first book is called The Shadow of What Was Lost. It is a very wet and cloudy and kind of chilly day here. So I've just been kind of chilling inside. It's pretty chilly, so I have my Paris blanket that my best friend got me for Christmas. Our first year rooming together, and it's still one of my favorites, although it's seen better days. I have not been doing much today. Just a couple emails. I've been watching some YouTube. I'm like halfway through Mind of Molly's birthday unboxing video. If you haven't watched Mind of Molly, her reading taste is very different from mine, but I love her. She is so amazing and it's just such a precious video. I love it so much. I am gonna also be doing a lot of lesson planning and some reading. So the books that I am going to start today, I'm gonna start Tuesday at the Castle by Jessica Day George. This is a book about basically every Tuesday this castle rearranges itself, which is such an interesting concept. It's a middle grade book and my mom currently works at a bookstore, and she pointed the series out to me and she said, this looks really interesting, I'd be really intrigued. And it just sounds so good. I don't know much about it besides that. Speaking of mom, here she calls. Hold on one second. Okay, whew, sorry about that, guys. My mom needed me to let her into the garage. So, in addition to Tuesdays at the Castle, which I plan on starting and finishing within the next couple of days, it's only like 200 pages and it's a middle grade, so the text is pretty big. So that shouldn't be a problem. I'm also in the process of reading A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn. One of the classes that I'm teaching is 8th grade American history, and so this is a really good book. I've been wanting to read it for a while anyway, so I thought while I could justify it as a school resource, I would pick it up and read it. I'm not very far. I'm 14 pages in. I have one little tab. So yeah, I'm reading that. For the rest of the day, I think I'm going to be reading this book, doing some lesson planning. Yeah, I will check back in with you guys later when I read some more. Okay, so I just started Tuesday at the Castle, and it's very funny, it's very charming. I'm not very far in, but does anyone ever like have a hard time figuring out how to pronounce someone's name until you see their full name? So the main character, oh, see now, like in my head it makes sense. Oh, Celie. It's spelled C-E-L-I-E. Celie. But I could not figure how the heck to say it until I figured out her name, her full name is Cecilia. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense now. This is part of why I can't remember characters' names very well. But yeah, there's one book series, the Ranger's Apprentice series. One of the main characters' name is Horace, and for the first nine books, I called him. See, I can't even say it now because I know that it's wrong. It's like I called him Hornus or something like that. Like I added an N, which isn't in the name. And I didn't realize that I had been reading his name wrong until he got a nickname in the 10th book, and I was like, oh, that nickname only makes sense if his name is Horace. So yeah, fun fact about Lauren and reading, I'm mildly dyslexic and names are the worst, which obviously makes fantasy a little difficult, but it's much better when the nickname makes sense with the full name. So guys, it is Wednesday morning at 12, not 12, it's Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. I woke up pretty early today, which is a good sign. It means that I might just have a productive day. Yesterday, I was not productive at all. After I talked to you guys, I basically just watched YouTube and a little bit of TikTok, and then last night I did start Tuesdays at the Castle. It's pretty good so far. I'm about 50 pages in, and it's such an interesting premise, really funny. Like, it's maybe not like funny, witty is probably a better word for it, but it's very witty. Yeah, I'm about 50 pages in, enjoying it so far. I have few other thoughts except that it's witty and a little dark. I don't read a lot of middle grade, but this is making me definitely want to read more middle grade. So, today I have to take my brother to the orthodontist, and then I am hopefully actually gonna get work done. I really want to do some lesson planning, which means reading my, where'd it go? Oh. Which means reading A People's History of the United States. So, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I will see you guys later. Sierra, what are you doing? Come here. Come here. Can I have it? It's a gift. Drop it. Sierra. Thank you for that lovely gift. Guys, so it is Thursday and it's almost 1 o'clock. I think the last clip that you guys saw was me making avocado bread. It's not really toast because I didn't toast my bread, but yeah, I just used some Vindaloo seasoning, and that avocado was deceptively ripe. And by deceptively ripe, I mean the outside was soft, but the inside was hard. And I don't know why that happened, but it's fine. I salvaged it and it was fine. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick reading update. Something that you will learn about me very quickly is that I am a pretty slow reader, especially when I have a lot of other stuff to do. And I get distracted easier than I should. But I go through spurts of reading really fast and then spurts of reading slowly, and this just happens to be a spurt of reading slowly. I have no further thoughts on Tuesdays at the Castle. It's great. It's a good book so far. It's a little bit more on the younger side of YA. I mean, middle grade. It's a little on the younger side of middle grade. But I just love the wit and the imagination, and yeah, I have no further thoughts than what I've already told you guys. I made quite a bit of progress on this. I'm about 40 pages in. One thing that this book does really well is that it tells stories from the perspective of people who don't always have a voice. So, for example, the first chapter is about the founding of America, and it's told from the perspective of the indigenous population. And then, so it's going through American history, telling the stories and the histories that we know from the perspective of the people who don't get featured very often in our history books, for a variety of reasons. So I really like it. I have, let's see, I don't have very many tabs yet, but I have lots of underlines and highlights, and I don't annotate my fiction books, but I do annotate my nonfiction books, especially those that I use for school, for lesson planning, things like that. So that's all the update I have to show you. It's funny because you don't realize how boring your life is until you start vlogging every day. And you're like, what am I supposed to show them? But hopefully that will change. I feel like everybody's life is kind of boring right now because, you know, COVID, social distancing is still a thing, hopefully. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this update. I'm gonna eat a cupcake because why not? And get some work done. So I'll talk to you guys later. Guys, I finished it. Oh my gosh. This book is so good. Sometimes I forget how much I love middle grade until I'm reading it, and then I'm like, yeah, I love it. this, what time is it even? Okay, 11:30, not bad. I started reading at like 9-ish, and I just finished now at 11:30. My heart's all warm and fuzzy. I kind of want to reread it, but I know that, one, I shouldn't, because I'm trying to get through my physical TBR, but two, I want to read the next one. I'm gonna have to buy these all on my Kindle so that I can read them while I'm gone. I think this is gonna go on my favorite shelf. I'm not sure, but I haven't run it through CowPile yet. It's either gonna be a really high 4-star or a 5-star. I was thinking while I was reading this that it's kind of like if you took Home Alone and added a magical castle and an evil plot to take over the kingdom. That's what this book is. And it's so good. And it's so precious. And I love Castle Glower so much. I just, anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed, but I will run it through CowPile in the morning and just like sit with the warm fuzzy feelings. And then I will update you guys later. Alright, good night. Hey guys, so it is the next night. I didn't get any reading done today. I had a couple errands to run, and then it was my brother's birthday today. So we went and did some, spent some time at Topgolf, which is actually really fun. So we just got back not too long ago, and I've just been relaxing. My ears have been really sensitive, and one thing that happens when my ears get sensitive is that certain frequencies of noises and certain kinds of noises like make me anxious. So yeah, I don't know what that's about, but so I came into my room and just kind of like decompressed, just sat here. Really didn't do much, but I wanted to go ahead and wrap up Tuesdays at the Castle by Jessica Day George. I ran this through CowPile, and I ended up giving it a 9.14, which is a pretty solid 5-star. Man, I really love this book. So I think I told you guys last night that this book is almost like Home Alone, but with a magic castle and people trying to take over the kingdom instead of just like steal stuff from the house. One thing that I really appreciate about this book in particular, and I think this is something middle grade in general does really well, is that they talk about a lot of really hard issues while also leaving you feeling happy. Maybe that's not the right word, but you know, like sometimes an adult book that tackles really important issues, you finish it and you're like, ugh, I feel icky. And sometimes that's good. Like sometimes books, you need to leave books feeling that way, but a lot of times it's not the best way to do storytelling. That might just be my opinion, but you know. So like this book really tackles problems. So in the very beginning of the book, the king and queen of Castle Glower go missing. They go to see their oldest son graduate from wizard school, and on the way back they're ambushed, and they're basically presumed dead. So the next son, who is next in line for the throne, the castle chose him to be next in line for the throne. He basically kind of has to step up. And there are all these foreign emissaries who are there for the funeral. Celie, who's the main character, she's like 11 or 12, something around there. The castle loves her, and she loves the castle, and she knows the castle better than anyone. Her brother's name is Rolf, and her sister's name is Lila. Her full name is Delilah. I'm really bad at character names, so I'm just gonna have to like constantly go back and look at it. And so these three siblings basically have to save the castle and save their kingdom. And Rolf, there's this really, really great line where I won't tell you the context because it kind of spoils some things that happen a little bit later on in the book, but he says, I would rather do things and make it right than make it easy. Throughout the whole book, all three of the kids did what was hard because they knew that's what was right. They didn't try to play games. They thought about it. Oh, well, maybe if I just like give them what they want, then like we'll be able to, you know, save the castle. But they were like, no, we're gonna do what's right. Especially Rolf and Celie. We're gonna do what's right, whether or not it makes our lives harder. And of course, like, they're dealing with grief. They don't know if their parents are dead or if they're alive, and Celie has an opinion, and then her brother has a different opinion, and her older sister has a different opinion, and trying to figure out who is allies and who is enemies. And there's just so much going on in these like 200 pages. It's insane. But I cannot wait to read the next book. The next book is called Wednesday in the Tower. If you want a magical adventure with a castle that moves and creates new rooms, and the staircases move and they rearrange rooms, and I mean, the castle is a character. And I really love that aspect, because I've seen like magical castles before, like Hogwarts, right? The moving staircases and like random rooms, but Hogwarts itself isn't necessarily a character in the Harry Potter series. You know what I mean? But in this book, Castle Glower is its own character, and I just love it. So those are my thoughts on this book. I think it's definitely, after some reflection, it's definitely going to go on my favorites shelf, which is currently running out of room, which I guess is a good problem to have. But now I'm trying to decide what to read next. So I am trying to get through as much of my physical TBR as possible, because I'm not going to be able to bring very many books with me overseas to Albania, at least not all at once. And I'll have my Kindle, but I don't really want to buy books that I already have physical copies of, especially because for the most part, with some exceptions, I've like read all of the physical books on my shelf that are top priority. Most of the other ones I feel like I can wait. Like, there are other things that I could easily read in between and not have to worry about it. So I'm contemplating a couple different things. So, and my bookshelves are over there. Okay, so I'm deciding between The Last Kingdom by Brendan Cornwall. This is a historical fiction about the Vikings, about the Danes on British soil. In the middle years of the 9th century, the fierce Danes storm into British soil, hungry for spoils and conquests. Kingdom after kingdom fell to the ruthless invaders until but one realm remained, and suddenly the fate of all England and the course of history depends upon one man, one king. I believe that this is the book that inspired the Last Kingdom television series. Yeah, it hasn't been on my shelf for very long, but I'm trying to get into more historical fiction. And then the next option is We Hunt the Flames by Hafsa Faizal, which that sounds Italian, and I know it's not. I am terrible at pronouncing names. And I thought I knew how to say her name until I tried to say it, and then I was like, I'm not sure if that's right. But anyway, this is a pretty popular book on BookTube. It's a high fantasy Middle Eastern retelling of Robin Hood. I have tried to start this book before and ended up getting a couple pages in before I put it down. So I don't know, like, after reading a middle grade, what I'm afraid of is that if I read the wrong book, I'll kind of go into a reading slump. And sometimes sometimes you can just feel it, you know, when you're about to go into a reading slump, and it's like, okay, the next thing I read is going to make or break my reading for next week or the next month. Hopefully not that long, but. And then the last book is The Naming, the first book in the Books of Pelennor series by Alison Croggan. I've actually already read this book, but it's been a really, really long time. So I read these books on my Nook. Oh, Tamora Pierce. I didn't realize Tamora Pierce blurbed the back of this. Okay, that's probably why I picked it up. Tamora Pierce is one of my favorite authors. She's one of my most trusted authors. Basically, if she read and loved a book, I'm going to pick it up. I don't always agree with her, but most of the time I do. So if she loved it and it's a book I'm interested in, I'm like, yes. So that's probably why I picked this one up. But I probably picked this up in like 2012, maybe like early high school. I picked them up on my Nook and loved them. Like there are 4 books in this series. Amazing. I loved them so much that I picked up the full series in hardback because I wanted physical copies of them. And why am I going out of focus? Why? Watch this be completely out of focus. What I remember about this book is that Myrite is a slave and she sees this guy in the barn where she's a slave and she's not supposed to be able to see him. Like, he has an invisibility spell. She's not supposed to be able to see him. So he helps her escape. The magic system is centered, I think, around words, but music plays a really, really, really big part in this story. She is a musician, and I believe the people who have magic are called bards even. Oh yeah, the bard. She's one of the bards. So that's all that I really remember. I remember adoring this book, this series, and I kind of want to read it before I leave, but there are 4 of them and they're all really long. So I don't know. So I think I'm actually going to take a shower because tomorrow I'm gonna hang out with some friends, some of my dance friends, and we're gonna go, we're actually just gonna sit outside and have lunch together and just talk and chat. Yeah, kind of like a one last thing before I leave. Hopefully soon, but who knows, you know. We'll see what happens. But I'm gonna go take a shower and then I'll kind of make up my mind if I decide to read. And I may decide just not to read anymore tonight and just take today off from reading and start tomorrow. Or maybe I'll read like a little bit of each of them and see which one catches my attention more. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys a little update. And yeah, I will talk to you later. Alright guys, ooh wow, that's bright. It is official. Yesterday at 3 o'clock, yesterday being Wednesday, today being Thursday, I bought my plane ticket for Albania for, drumroll please, tomorrow. So I'm leaving tomorrow afternoon. And I have about 21 hours of traveling, and then I'll be in Albania Saturday night. I can't even express how excited I am. Like, I cannot believe that this is happening. I didn't think I'd get there by the beginning of the school year, and now I'm getting there a whole week early, which means I have a week to get settled in, get over jet lag, so that my first 2 classes, my first couple classes, or even my first week of classes are not, you know, me being jet lagged and trying to teach. And I'm just so excited. So let me show you. So this is the chaos that is my room. I'm taking that suitcase and that suitcase. That one is so full. And then this one is also very full. I need to make sure that it closes, but I still need to put my spices somewhere in there because they won't let me carry them on the plane. And then I have this backpack. That's my backpacking backpack. That's where all of my like electronics and all of that will go, like all the stuff that I need for the plane. That bin right there was all the clothes that were like in the maybe pile, like clothes that I maybe want to bring but aren't sure. And clearly I didn't have room in my suitcases, so I'm not bringing them. Yeah, I am gonna run a couple errands today. I have to just get a couple more things. Namely melatonin, because I can't sleep without melatonin, and a couple other things. And then I need to clean this room so that my family doesn't have to deal with it when I leave. And yeah, Sierra wants to say hi. Sierra, say hi. Oh, look at her, she's so cute. You want to say hi to the people? Say hi. Are you gonna miss me? Yeah. Mwah. All right, well, I'm gonna go, and I will talk to you guys soon.